The year was 2387. Sergeant Jake Martinez stepped off the transport ship onto the dead planet called Zerion 7. The ground under his boots was gray and dusty. Nothing lived here anymore. The air was thin and cold, even inside his protective suit. "Stay close to me," Jake told his team. He looked at the three people with him. Dr. Lisa Chang was the smart one who studied old alien things. Corporal Danny Murphy knew how to blow things up safely. Private Amy Foster talked to the ship when they needed help. "This place gives me the creeps," Danny said. He kicked a small rock and watched it roll away. "Why did anyone ever live here?" Lisa checked her scanner. The readings show this was once a great city, maybe even a whole civilization. But something happened here long ago. Jake nodded. Their job was simple. Look around, take pictures, find anything useful, then go home. The human military wanted to know about all the old alien places they could find. Some had good technology, some had weapons, some had nothing at all. They walked for 2 hours across the empty land. Old buildings stuck up from the ground like broken teeth. The wind made strange sounds as it blew through the ruins. "Sergeant," Amy said, "I'm getting weird signals on my equipment. Something big is under the ground." Jake stopped walking. "How big?" "Really big. Like a whole building or maybe more." Lisa got excited. "This could be important. The underground areas are usually where they kept their most valuable things." Jake thought about it. His orders were to be careful, but they were also supposed to find important things. "Okay, we go down, but we stick together. No one goes off alone." They found a way down into the underground area. It was a hole in the ground with metal stairs that went deep into darkness. Jake went first with his flashlight. The others followed behind him. The tunnel was long and dark. Their lights made scary shadows on the walls. Strange pictures were carved into the stone. Lisa took photos of everything. "These symbols," she said. "I've never seen anything like them. They're not like any other alien writing we know." The tunnel led to a huge room. When they turned on their big lights, they could see it was enormous. The ceiling was so high they could not see the top. In the center of the room was something that made them all stop and stare. It was a prison made of crystal. The crystal was tall as a building and red like blood. Inside the crystal they could see the shape of something. It looked like a person, but not quite human. "What is that?" Danny asked. Lisa walked closer with her scanner. "It's some kind of being, but it's been here for a very long time, maybe thousands of years." Jake felt something strange. The crystal seemed to be calling to him. He could almost hear a voice in his head, but not with his ears. It was like someone whispering very quietly. "Stay back," he told the others, but his feet kept walking toward the crystal. "Sergeant," Amy said, "my equipment is going crazy. There's energy coming from that thing." Jake could not stop walking. The voice in his head was getting stronger. It sounded like a woman, and she sounded very sad and very angry. "Help me," the voice said. "I have been trapped here so long." Jake knew he should not listen, but the voice was so sad, and something about it made him want to help. He reached out his hand toward the crystal. The moment his glove touched the red surface, everything changed. Light exploded from the crystal. The whole room shook like an earthquake. Cracks appeared in the crystal prison and spread fast like lightning. "Jake, get away from there," Lisa shouted. But it was too late. The crystal broke apart with a sound like thunder. Pieces fell everywhere. Red light filled the room so bright they could not see. When the light faded, Jake saw her. She was the most beautiful and terrifying thing he had ever seen. Her skin was white like snow. Her hair was black like space. Her eyes burned like red stars. She was tall and moved like she was floating instead of walking. She looked at Jake and smiled, but her smile showed teeth that were too sharp. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was soft, but somehow filled the whole room. "I am Zephyra Vexisthara. I was the Empress of the Sanguinar, and you, little human, have just freed me from 50,000 years of prison." Jake tried to move but found he could not. None of them could move. It was like they were frozen. "Who put you in that prison?" Jake asked. His voice came out as a Whisper. My enemies, she said. The same enemies who will soon come for your people. The Kethmori. They feared my power. They feared what I could do. She walked closer to Jake. When she moved, her feet did not make any sound. But now I am free and I am very hungry. 50,000 years is a long time to go without feeding. Jake felt scared but also brave. What do you eat? She laughed. The sound was like music, but scary music. Life itself, little human. The energy that makes you alive. Your people call it many things. Soul, spirit, life force. I drink it like you drink water. Jake thought they were all going to die. But then something strange happened. Instead of hurting them, she just looked at them for a long time. Interesting, she said. You smell different from the other races, stronger, more exciting. She reached out and touched Jake's face. Her hand was cold like ice. But instead of hurting him, he felt strange, like electricity was running through his body. Yes, she said. Very interesting indeed. I think we need to have a longer conversation, but not here. I need to see what has happened to my galaxy while I was sleeping. She looked at Amy. Call your ship, little one, tell them to come and get us, and tell them they have a new passenger. What if they say no? Amy asked. Zephyra smiled again. Then, I will have to visit them personally, and I am very hungry after my long sleep. Jake knew they had no choice. They had accidentally freed something very powerful and very dangerous. But maybe, just maybe, they could find a way to work with her. Instead of becoming her food, Amy, he said, make the call. Amy called the ship with shaking hands. Her voice was scared when she talked into her radio. This is ground team to UES Meridian. We need pickup right now. We have a situation down here. Captain Helen Rodriguez answered from the ship. What kind of situation, Private Foster? Amy looked at Jake. He nodded at her to tell the truth. We found someone, Captain. Someone who was locked up down here for a very long time. She's alive, and she wants to come with us. She? What species? Captain Rodriguez asked. Zephyra moved, closer to Amy. Let me talk to her, she said. Amy gave her the radio. Zephyra spoke into it with her strange musical voice. Captain Rodriguez, my name is Zephyra Vexthara. I am the last Empress of the Sanguinar. Your people have freed me from my prison. I request passage to learn about what has happened to the galaxy. There was a long silence from the radio. Then Captain Rodriguez spoke again. I'm sorry, but I don't know what a Sanguinar is, and I can't take unknown aliens onto my ship without orders from Earth. Zephyra's eyes began to glow brighter. Jake could feel anger coming from her like heat from a fire. Captain? Zephyra said. Her voice was still soft, but now it was also dangerous. I am not asking. I am telling you. Either you send a shuttle to pick us up, or I will come to your ship in my own way, and you will not like my own way. Are you threatening my ship? Captain Rodriguez asked. I am explaining facts, Zephyra said. Your weapons cannot hurt me. Your shields cannot stop me. But I am trying to be polite because your people freed me. Do not test my patience. Jake stepped forward. Captain, this is Sergeant Martinez. The situation down here is very serious. This being has powers we don't understand. I think it's better if we talk about this on the ship. Another long silence. Then the captain spoke. Fine. Shuttle is coming down. But if this goes bad, Martinez, it's on your head. While they waited for the shuttle, Zephyra looked around the room. She touched the broken pieces of crystal. 50,000 years, she said quietly. Everything I knew is gone. My people are probably all dead. My empire has turned to dust. What happened to your people? Lisa asked. She was still scared, but her scientist mind wanted to know. The Kethmori happened, Zephyra said with anger. They are like your insects, but smart and cruel. They spread across the galaxy like a disease. They destroy everything that is not like them. We know about the Kethmori, Jake said. They control a lot of space now. They've been fighting with humans for 10 years. Zephyra looked at him with surprise. Humans fight the Kethmori? And you still live? We're good at fighting, Danny said. We're tough. Zephyra laughed. Tough? Yes. I can smell that about you. You have something the other races did not have. Fire in your blood. Strength in your spirit. The shuttle arrived and landed outside the underground chamber. Jake and his team led Zephyra up to the surface. She moved without making any sound, like she was floating. When they got to the shuttle, the pilot looked scared. Ma'am, he said to Zephyra, I need you to put on a safety suit for the trip. I do not need air to breathe, she said, and your seat will not hold me. I will travel in my own way. Before anyone could ask what she meant, she disappeared. 1 second she was there, the next second she was gone like smoke. Where did she go? The pilot asked. Jake's radio came on. It was Amy, but her voice sounded different. Scared. Sergeant, she's already on the ship. She just appeared on the bridge. The shuttle flew back to the UES Meridian as fast as it could. When Jake and his team got to the bridge, they found Zephyra standing in the center of the room. All the ship's officers were frozen like statues around her. I am not hurting them, she said when she saw Jake. I am just making sure they listen. Captain Rodriguez could move her mouth, but nothing else. What are you? She asked. I told you. I am Sanguinar. We ruled the galaxy before your species learned to make fire. We fed on the life force of other beings. We were gods among the stars. Were? Jake asked. The Keith Mori feared us. They could not beat us in open war, so they used tricks. They poisoned our food sources. They turned our servant races against us. And finally, they trapped me in that crystal prison while I slept. She walked to the big window that showed space outside. But I am awake now, and I am very hungry. Don't hurt my crew, Captain Rodriguez said. Zephyra turned around. Hurt them? Captain, I need them alive. Dead beings have no life force to offer. She looked at Jake. Come here, Sergeant. Jake walked toward her even though he was scared. When he got close, she put her hand on his face again. Your species is different, she said. When I touch other races, I drain their life and they become weak. But when I touch you, Jake felt that strange electricity again. But instead of making him weak, it made him feel stronger. His vision became sharper. His muscles felt more powerful. Impossible, Zephyra whispered. Your life force is not just food. It makes me stronger too. How is this possible? Dr. Chang spoke up from where she was frozen. Maybe our species can work together instead of one feeding on the other. Zephyra looked at her with interest. Work together? The Sanguinar have never worked with other races. We ruled them. But you said your empire fell, Jake said. Maybe ruling others isn't the best way. Zephyra was quiet for a long time. Then she let the crew move again. They all stepped back from her, except Jake. You humans are strange, she said. Most races begged for mercy or tried to kill me. You offer partnership. Captain Rodriguez rubbed her arms where she had been frozen. What do you want from us? Information, Zephyra said. I want to know what happened while I slept. I want to know about these HFY wars. And I want to know about your people. In exchange for what? The captain asked. Zephyra smiled her dangerous smile. In exchange, I will help you fight the HFY. They are coming for your species next. They see you as a threat just like they saw me. How do you know this? Jake asked. Because I can feel them. Their minds are like acid in the void. They are gathering their fleets. They plan to end the human problem once and for all. The bridge was very quiet. Everyone was thinking about what she had said. Proof, Captain Rodriguez said. If you want us to trust you, we need proof that the HFY are planning to attack us. Zephyra nodded. Fair enough. Set course for the nearest HFY patrol. I will show you what they really think about your species. That could start a war, the captain said. Captain, Zephyra said. The war has already started. The HFY declared it the day your people first left your homeworld. You just didn't know it yet. Jake looked at his team, then at the captain. Maybe we should listen to her. If she's right about the HFY, we need to know. Captain Rodriguez thought for a minute. Then she turned to her navigation officer. Set course for the border patrol zone, but we go in careful and quiet. Zephyra smiled. Excellent. It has been a long time since I tasted Kethmori fear. This will be educational. As the ship turned toward enemy space, Jake wondered what they had started. Had they found an ally against humanity's enemies? Or had they just made everything much, much worse? The UES Meridian flew through space toward the border where human and Kethmori territory met. Jake stayed on the bridge with Zephyra. She stood by the big window, looking out at the stars like she was searching for something. There, she said, pointing to empty space. 3 Kethmori scout ships. They are hiding behind that asteroid. Captain Rodriguez looked at her scanner. I don't see anything. Your machines cannot see them, but I can feel their minds. They are watching your ship, deciding whether to attack or follow you. Lieutenant Commander Rick Davis, the ship's weapons officer, stepped forward. If they're hostile, we should fire first. No, Zephyra said. Let me show you something better. Before anyone could stop her, she walked through the wall of the ship like it was made of air. Jake ran to the window and saw her floating in space without a suit. She moved toward the asteroid like she was swimming through water. She's going to get herself killed, Rick said. I don't think she can be killed, Jake said. At least not easily. They watched as Zephyra reached the asteroid. Suddenly 3 large bug-like ships appeared. They had been hiding there just like she said. The ships looked like giant metal insects with sharp claws and glowing red eyes. The Kethmori ships fired their weapons at Zephyra. Bright energy beams shot through space. But the beams went right through her like she was made of smoke. Then Zephyra reached out with her hands toward the closest ship. Even from far away, Jake could see red energy flowing from the ship to her. The ship's lights began to go out. What is she doing? Captain Rodriguez asked. She's feeding, Jake said. She's draining the life force from everyone on that ship. The first Kethmori ship went dark and still. The other 2 ships tried to run away, but Zephyra moved faster than anything Jake had ever seen. She caught the second ship and did the same thing. Red energy flowed from the ship to her until it also went dark. The third ship was almost away when Zephyra raised both hands. Red light shot from her fingers across the distance. The light wrapped around the ship like chains. Jake could hear screaming through the radio, even though the ship was far away. Then it was over. All 3 ships were dead in space. Zephyra floated back to the UES Meridian and walked through the wall again. Now you know, she said. This is how I fight. This is why the Kethmori feared me. Rick looked at her with wide eyes. You killed them all. 3 whole ship crews. They were going to report your position to their fleet, Zephyra said. Now they cannot. I saved your lives. Jake felt sick and amazed at the same time. How many Kethmori can you kill? All of them, if I have enough time, she said. But there are many billions of them. Even I cannot fight them all at once. Captain Rodriguez was very pale. We need to report this to Earth. High Command needs to know about you. Yes, Zephyra agreed. But first I want to test something that might help your people fight better. She looked at Rick. You, weapons officer. You are brave and strong. Will you let me try something? What kind of something? Rick asked. I want to share some of my power with you, make you stronger, faster, give you abilities your kind has never had. Is it safe? Jake asked. Zephyra shrugged. Probably. You humans are different from other races. When I touch you, strange things happen. I want to see what happens if I give you more than just a touch. Rick looked at Captain Rodriguez. Permission to volunteer, Captain? I can't order you to do this, she said. It's your choice. Rick nodded. I'll do it. If it helps humanity fight the Kethmori, I'll try anything. Zephyra smiled. Good, brave. I like this about humans. She put both hands on Rick's head. Red energy flowed from her into him. Rick's eyes began to glow with the same red light. His body shook like he was being hit by lightning. Jake was about to tell her to stop when Rick held up his hand. I'm okay, he said, but his voice sounded different, deeper and stronger. When Zephyra let go, Rick looked around the bridge with wonder. I can see everything so clearly, and I can feel things, like the emotions of everyone here. Try to lift that table, Zephyra said, pointing to a heavy metal table bolted to the floor. Rick walked over and grabbed the table. He pulled it up, and the bolts broke like they were made of paper. He was holding a table that should have weighed 300 pounds like it was nothing. Amazing, Dr. Chang said. His muscle density must have increased dramatically. It is not just his muscles, Zephyra said. I have awakened parts of his mind that humans do not normally use. He can sense thoughts and emotions now. He can see energy patterns. He is becoming something new. Jake felt excited and worried. Are there any bad effects? Zephyra looked at Rick carefully. There is a connection now between him and me. I can sense where he is and what he feels. But it goes both ways. He can sense me too. Rick nodded. I can feel her in my mind, but it doesn't hurt. It's like having a friend always nearby. Captain Rodriguez made a decision. We're going to Earth. High Command needs to see this. During the long trip to Earth, more of the crew volunteered for Zephyra's enhancement. Danny wanted to be stronger for his demolition work. Amy wanted better senses for communications. Even Dr. Chang wanted enhanced intelligence to study Zephyra's abilities. Each time the process worked. The humans became stronger, faster, and smarter. They could sense each other's thoughts and emotions. They could see in the dark and hear sounds from far away. But Jake noticed something else. The enhanced humans were changing in other ways too. Their eyes stayed a little red even when they weren't using their powers. They needed less sleep and less food. And they all felt loyal to Zephyra in a way that worried Jake. Are you controlling them? He asked her one night when they were alone. No, she said. But the enhancement creates a bond. They are still themselves, but they are also connected to me. It is the price of power. What if someone wants to stop being enhanced? Zephyra was quiet for a long time. I do not know. This has never happened before. Your species continues to surprise me. When they reached Earth, the ship was met by a whole fleet of human warships. Admiral Kate Sullivan came aboard with a team of scientists and soldiers. Where is this alien? The Admiral asked. Zephyra appeared on the bridge like she had been there all along. I am here, Admiral. Your people have told me much about you during our journey. The Admiral looked at the enhanced crew members. What have you done to my people? I have made them better, Zephyra said. Stronger, faster, more able to fight your enemies. At what cost? Admiral Sullivan asked. Jake stepped forward. Admiral, the Kethmori are planning a major attack on human space. She can help us stop them. And why would she help us? The Admiral asked. Zephyra smiled. Because, Admiral, I have found something I did not expect. A species that can work with me instead of serving me. A species that makes me stronger just as I make them stronger. Your people are the key to building a new kind of empire, one based on partnership instead of domination. Admiral Sullivan looked at Jake. What do you think, Sergeant? Jake thought about everything he had seen, the power Zephyra had shown, the way she had enhanced his friends, the connection he felt growing between himself and her even though he had not been enhanced yet. I think we need her, Admiral. The Kethmori are too strong for us to fight alone, but with her help, we might have a chance. The Admiral nodded slowly. Then God help us all. 3 months after reaching Earth, the war began. Jake stood on the bridge of the UHS Defiance, one of the new human warships built with Zephyra's help. She had taught human scientists how to make better shields and weapons using energy patterns. She understood. Jake, Rick said through their mental link. Long-range sensors are picking up something big. Really big. Jake looked at the tactical display. Hundreds of red dots were moving toward the human colony world of New Phoenix. The Kethmori fleet was huge, bigger than anything humans had ever seen. How many ships? Jake asked. Over 800, Rick replied, including 5 of their super dreadnoughts. Zephyra appeared on the bridge beside Jake. She could teleport anywhere she wanted now that she was fully awake and fed. They bring their full might, she said, looking at the display. Hive Commander Zek Thul leads them. I remember him from the old wars. He is smart and very cruel. Can we win? Jake asked. Zephyra was quiet for a moment. With your normal weapons and ships? No, you would all die in the first hour. But we have something they do not expect. She was talking about the enhanced humans. Over 3 months, 200 volunteers had undergone her enhancement process. They called themselves the Blood Guard now. They were still human, but much more than human too. Marine Colonel Steve Bradley was their leader. He had been one of the first to volunteer after Rick. Now he could punch through steel walls and survive in space for hours without a suit. Orders, Empress? Steve asked. He called her Empress now, like most of the enhanced humans did. Protect the colony ships, Zephyra said. Get the civilians away from New Phoenix. This battle will be intense. The human fleet moved to meet the Kethmori attack. Jake commanded a squadron of fighters filled with enhanced pilots. They could react faster than normal humans and see patterns in battle that others missed. When the Kethmori fleet arrived, it was like watching death itself come out of space. Their ships were black and sharp like flying razors. They moved in perfect formation, like a swarm of deadly insects. All ships, open fire, Admiral Sullivan ordered from the flagship. Human, weapons blazed across space. Energy beams and missiles streaked toward the enemy. But the Kethmori ships had strong shields. Most of the shots did little damage. Then the Kethmori fired back. Green acid-like beams shot from their weapons. Where they hit human ships, the metal melted and burned. Jake watched 3 destroyers die in the first minute of fighting. This isn't working, he said into his radio. We need a new plan. I have a plan, Zephyra said. Her voice came through every radio in the fleet at once. But you must trust me completely. She appeared in space between the 2 fleets. She looked tiny compared to the huge warships around her. But Jake could feel the power building inside her. Zephyra raised her hands toward the closest Kethmori ship. Red energy flowed from her fingers like lightning. The energy hit the enemy ship and spread across its hull like fire. Jake could hear screaming through the radio as the Kethmori crew died. Their life force flowed through space to Zephyra, making her glow brighter and brighter. But there were too many ships. Even as she drained one, 10 others fired at her. Some shots went through her like she was smoke. Others hit her solid body and hurt her. She can't fight them all alone, Rick said. Then we help her, Steve Bradley replied. The Blood Guard did something amazing then. All 200 enhanced humans focused their minds together. They sent their energy to Zephyra across space, making her stronger. With their power added to hers, Zephyra became something terrible and beautiful. She grew larger until she was the size of a small ship. Her eyes burned like red suns. Energy crackled around her like lightning. She flew through the Kethmori fleet like an avenging angel. Where she touched their ships, they died. She drained the life from entire crews in seconds, but the effort was costing her greatly. She's using too much power, Dr. Chang reported from her science station. The energy feedback is incredible. She can't keep this up much longer. Jake made a decision that would change everything. All Blood Guard pilots, follow me. We're going to help her fight up close. Jake, no, Rick called. Normal ships can't survive in that energy field around her. We're not normal anymore, Jake replied. Jake led 50 enhanced pilots directly into the battle around Zephyra. Their fighters moved faster than should have been possible. The pilots could see the energy patterns flowing between ships and dodge, attacks that would have killed normal humans. Working together, they began taking apart the Kethmori fleet ship by ship. Zephyra would drain the life force from the crews while the human fighters destroyed the empty ships with their weapons. But the Kethmori had a surprise waiting. Hive Commander Zek Thul's flagship fired a special weapon. It was a beam of pure, white light that hit Zephyra and made her scream in pain. Where the light touched her, her red energy began to fade. It's some kind of life force dampener, Dr. Chang reported. It's blocking her ability to feed. Without fresh life force coming, to her Zephyra began to weaken quickly. The glow around her started to fade. She began to fall toward the planet below. All ships protect the Empress, Steve Bradley ordered. The human fleet moved to shield Zephyra from more attacks. But Zekthol's ship kept firing its white beam. Each hit made her weaker. Jake flew his fighter straight at the Kethmori flagship. Enemy guns fired at him, but his enhanced reflexes let him dodge between the energy beams. "What are you doing?" Rick asked through their link. "Something crazy," Jake replied. He crashed his fighter into the flagship's weapon system. The explosion destroyed the white beam cannon, but it also destroyed his ship. Jake barely escaped in his emergency pod. With the special weapon gone, Zephyra began to recover. She fed on the dying crews of damaged Kethmori ships and grew strong again. The battle turned into a rout after that. The Kethmori fleet broke apart as ship after ship fell to Zephyra's power. Zekthol's flagship tried to escape, but Zephyra caught it. Jake watched through his pod's window as she tore the huge ship apart with her bare hands. He could hear Zekthol's final message on the radio. "This is not over, Sanguinar Witch. The Kethmori Empire has 1,000 fleets. We will hunt you and your human pets across the galaxy." "Let them come," Zephyra replied. "I have found my new people. Together we will make the Kethmori remember why they feared me." After the battle, Jake floated in his pod waiting for rescue. Through the link he shared with the other enhanced humans, he could feel their joy and triumph. But he also felt something else. The connection between all of them was growing stronger. Soon it would be hard to tell where one person ended and another began. They were becoming something new. Not quite human anymore, but not Sanguinar either. When the rescue ship picked him up, Zephyra was waiting for him. "You saved me," she said. "You destroyed the weapon that would have killed me." "We're partners," Jake said. "Partners help each other." She smiled, and for the first time it didn't look dangerous. "Yes, partners. I am learning much about this word from your species." As they flew back to Earth to prepare for the next battle, Jake wondered what humanity was becoming. Were they still human? Or were they evolving into something entirely new? He decided it didn't matter. Whatever they were becoming, they were becoming it together, and that made them stronger than anything the galaxy could throw at them. 1 year after the Battle of New Phoenix, the final war began. Jake stood in the command center on Luna Base, Earth's moon. Through the big windows, he could see a sight that would have been impossible to imagine 2 years ago. Human and Sanguinar. Technology working together had created the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. The ships looked different now. They were sleek and red, powered by life force energy that Zephyra had taught human scientists to harness. The crews were mostly blood guard, enhanced humans who could survive in space and fight with abilities that seemed like magic. "Jake," Zephyra said, appearing beside him as she often did. "The Kethmori Grand Armada has gathered in the Kepler Nebula. They bring everything they have. This will be the battle that decides everything." Jake looked at the reports on his screen. 3,000 Kethmori ships, every type of weapon they had ever built. And leading them was Supreme Hive Commander Vorthak, the most dangerous military mind in their empire. "Are we ready?" Jake asked. "The question is not whether we are ready," Zephyra said. "The question is whether you are ready." Jake looked at her with confusion. "What do you mean?" Zephyra was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke words that changed everything. "I want to make you my consort, Jake Martinez, my partner in ruling this new empire we have built together. I can give you immortality, power beyond imagination, and a place beside me as we reshape the galaxy." Jake felt his heart stop. Around the command center, the other blood guard had heard her words. They were all looking at him with expressions of hope and expectation. "You want me to become like you?" he asked. "Not like me," she said. "Something new. A bridge between human and Sanguinar. The first of a new kind of being that can lead both our peoples." Commander Alex Turner, who led the fleet's tactical operations, stepped forward. "Jake, this could be the key to everything. With you as her partner, we could unite the galaxy under our rule." Jake looked around at his friends and fellow soldiers. Rick nodded encouragingly. Steve Bradley saluted him. Dr. Chang smiled with scientific excitement. But something in Jake's heart said this was wrong. "What about human freedom?" he asked. "What about our right to choose our own path? You would still have that, Zephyra said. But you would have so much more. Power to protect your people, strength to lead them to greatness. Jake thought about everything that had happened. How they had found Zephyra by accident. How she had enhanced his friends. How they had fought together against the Kethmori. It had been an amazing journey, but he had also seen what the enhancement process did to people. They became stronger and smarter, but they also became more loyal to Zephyra, less independent, less human. I have a different idea, Jake said. Zephyra looked surprised. What kind of idea? Partnership, Jake said. Real partnership. Not ruler and ruled, not master and servant. Two species working together as equals. Equals? Zephyra laughed. Jake, I am 50,000 years old. I have power that can destroy suns. How can humans be my equal? Because, Jake said, you need us as much as we need you. You said it yourself. Human life force makes you stronger. Our minds work in ways yours doesn't. We solve problems differently. We think of things you never would. He walked to the tactical display showing the Kethmori fleet. You could probably beat them by yourself eventually, but it would take years and cost millions of lives. Together we can beat them in one battle with fewer losses. Zephyra considered this. And if I agree to this, equality, what happens to my offer? Jake smiled. I don't need to be immortal to be your partner, and I don't need to rule the galaxy to help my people. I just need you to trust that humans can be more valuable as friends than as subjects. The command center was very quiet. Everyone was waiting to see what Zephyra would say. Finally, she smiled, not her dangerous smile, but a real one. You continue to surprise me, Jake Martinez. Very well. We will try this equality you speak of. But first, we must win this war. The human Sanguinar fleet jumped to the Kepler Nebula where the Kethmori were waiting. The sight that met them was terrifying. The enemy fleet was so large it looked like a metal cloud covering the stars. All ships, this is Admiral Sullivan, came the voice over the radio. Today we fight not just for humanity, but for the right of all species to be free. Show them what we're made of. The battle began with the largest exchange of weapons fire in galactic history. Green Kethmori beams met red human Sanguinar energy in a light show that could be seen from systems away. Jake commanded his squadron of enhanced fighters while Zephyra moved through space-draining enemy ships. But the Kethmori had learned from their previous defeats. They focused all their fire on her, trying to overwhelm even her great power. She's taking too much damage, Rick reported. The energy feedback is off the charts. Jake made another crazy decision. All Blood Guard link with me. We're going to try something new. Instead of just sending energy to Zephyra, Jake had all the enhanced humans link their minds together. For a moment, they became one giant collective consciousness spanning hundreds of ships. Through this link, they shared more than power. They shared their humanity with Zephyra, their love of freedom, their willingness to sacrifice for others, their ability to hope even in the darkest times. Zephyra gasped as these human emotions flowed into her. For the first time in her long life, she truly understood what made humans special. Now I see, she whispered. This is why your species survived when others fell to the Kethmori. You fight not just for yourselves, but for each other. With this new understanding, Zephyra changed her fighting style. Instead of simply destroying enemy ships, she began targeting their command systems. Instead of killing entire crews, she drained just enough life force to disable them. The Kethmori fleet began to surrender ship by ship, as their crews realized they were beaten but not destroyed. Supreme Hive Commander Vorthak sent a final message. How do you fight with such mercy and still win? Jake answered him, because mercy is not weakness. It's strength, and strength shared is strength multiplied. The war ended, not with the destruction of the Kethmori, but with their surrender and integration into the new galactic order. 5 years later, Jake stood in the council chambers of New Terra, the capital world of the human Sanguinar Covenant. Representatives from dozens of species sat around a great circular table. Zephyra held the title of Empress Protector, but she shared power with an elected human council. The Keth Mori had their own representatives now, having learned to work with other species instead of conquering them. The motion passes, Jake announced. He had been elected as the first human ambassador to the Sanguinar court. Trade routes to the Andromeda Galaxy are now open to all member species. After the session, Zephyra found him on the observation deck looking out at the stars. "Do you ever regret not accepting my offer?" she asked. "You could have been immortal, powerful beyond measure." Jake smiled. "I am powerful. I'm powerful because I helped create something that never existed before, a galaxy where different species work together instead of trying to rule each other. And I am more powerful now than I ever was as an Empress," Zephyra admitted. "Your human concept of friendship and partnership has made me stronger than conquest ever did." They stood together looking out at the stars, where human and Sanguinar ships patrolled together, protecting trade routes and exploring new worlds. "What do you think is out there?" Jake asked, pointing to distant galaxies. "Other species," Zephyra said. "Some friendly, some hostile, some we haven't imagined yet." "Think they'll be ready for humanity?" Jake asked with a grin. Zephyra laughed. "I think the galaxy just learned that humans are ready for anything. And with humans as partners, so am I." In the distance, sensors detected strange signals from beyond the galactic rim. Other ancient races were awakening, drawn by the psychic resonance of the human Sanguinar covenant. Jake and Zephyra looked at each other and smiled. They had learned that the best way to face the unknown was together. Whatever came next, humanity would not face it alone, and that made all the difference in the universe.